by Daddy, Melia called back to me, smiling brightly. It was her first day in grade 1, and she was going on the school bus for the first time as well. As the bus doors closed and the bus took off, I went back inside to grab my things. I couldn't find my keys though. I was sure I had them on my dresser last night, but they weren't there anymore. After searching around for a bit, I returned to my room and found them exactly where I left them. I started briefly. How did I miss these? Did I just not see them? Shaking my head, I grabbed my keys and headed out for work. Similar things began to happen in the following days. Objects and eventually people as well just disappeared from my vision. They were still there, but I couldn't see them at all for brief periods of time. The next day it was awful. My whole vision would blank out briefly, and for a short while all I saw was nothing. Not blackness, like being blind, but just space. It really hurt my head whenever it happened. I tried to wrap my head around what was happening, but I couldn't even think about it, not to mention, it made me quite hungry. I called off work that day and rested, but I couldn't bring myself to eat. When Melia came home, I was writhing in pain on my bed. I wanted my head to stop hurting, and I wanted my vision to return to normal. "Daddy, what's wrong?" she asked with that worried tone that children do such an exceptional job of portraying. "Daddy is hurting," I yelled. I hadn't meant to be loud or mean, but I'm sure I scared her. In my flickering vision, I saw her back up a step and look at me in fear. I tried to comfort her, but she ran out of the room. Getting up painfully, I went after her, apologizing and asking for a hug. I repeated it over and over, but my head just hurt so much. I couldn't even see anything really, just that space that made my head feel like shit. "Melia," I hollered, trying to get her attention. I couldn't even move properly. I was hurting and tired and hungry. "Melia, come here please," I yelled out, catching a brief glimpse of her in my last bits of vision. She was huddled on her bed, hiding under a blanket. My vision went out entirely. An inhumane hunger possessed me and I had to eat. Fortunately, Melia had brought out a wrapped cake for me. It was a squishy and filled cake, yet still firm. I devoured the cake and sighed contentedly. I calmly thanked Melia and asked her where she had gotten it. She never replied.